Bible Quest Studio, where every story begins a quest.
Long ago, in the land of Israel, the city of Samaria was surrounded by its enemies, the mighty army of Syria. The siege lasted so long that no food could enter the city. Hunger filled every home. People sold donkey heads and dove droppings just to survive. The famine grew so terrible that two women made a shocking agreement. They would eat their own children to survive. That's how desperate things had become. When the king heard of this, he cried out in sorrow and anger. He blamed the prophet Elisha, the man of God, saying, "This is from the Lord. Why should I wait for him any longer?" But Elisha, full of faith, stood firm. He knew something the king did not, that God was about to turn famine into feast. Hear the word of the Lord. By this time tomorrow, a measure of fine flour will sell for 1 shekel, and 2 measures of barley for 1 shekel, right here at the gate of Samaria. Even if the Lord opened the windows of heaven, could such a thing happen? You will see it with your eyes, but you will not eat of it. Outside the city walls sat 3 lepers. They were outcasts, unwanted, and starving. They looked at each other and said, "Why sit here until we die? If we go into the city, we'll die of hunger. If we stay here, we'll die too. Let's go to the camp of the Syrians. Maybe they'll have mercy on us. If they kill us, we were going to die anyway." So, in the dark of night, the lepers began their slow walk to the Syrian camp, not knowing that God was already working a miracle. God caused the Syrian army to hear the sound of chariots and horses like the roar of a mighty army. Terrified, they cried out, "The king of Israel has hired the Hittites and Egyptians to attack us! Run for your lives!" The entire army fled, leaving behind food, treasures, and supplies beyond imagination. "Look! Food, clothes, silver! The camp is empty!" They ate until they were full and carried treasures away, but soon their hearts were troubled. "This is a day of good news, and we're keeping it to ourselves. Let's go and tell the city." The king couldn't believe it at first, thinking it might be a trap. But when his messengers reached the Syrian camp, they found the road scattered with clothes, weapons, and food, proof that the Syrians had truly fled. When the news reached the city, a flood of people poured out of the gates, rejoicing, laughing, shouting, and running toward the camp. The famine was over. Flour and barley sold exactly as Elisha had said. But the officer who doubted God's word stood guard at the gate. As the people rushed out in their excitement, he was trampled under their feet, just as Elisha had prophesied. He saw the miracle with his own eyes, but never tasted it. God turned famine into feast, fear into joy, and despair into hope, all in a single day. His word proved true, just as it always does. The story of the windows of heaven reminds us that no situation is too hopeless for God. When everything seems impossible, trust His word, because He can open the windows of heaven and pour out blessings you never imagined.
Thanks for watching Bible Quest Studio. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time for another journey through God's Word.